Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here one more time, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. And I'm asking you, if you're smart enough, if you're wise enough, if you care enough about yourself and one another, to go to the polls in November and write in Eddie Marcus to be your next representative. You couldn't do any better than that. I woke up this morning, ladies and gentlemen, with a whole bunch of stuff going on in my mind. I'm thinking about your President of the United States, the young man whom I have shared with you that is really only fit for this nation if this nation is the same kind of people that this person is. And I'm not talking about his color and rich. I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, because this young man has a history. He has a life even before he got here. And his life indication before he got here is that he is demonic. He is possessed with evilness and has no compassion or empathy for people. Now, his track record proves that. We knew that. And why is Donald Trump president of the United States? Because the powers that be knows that he is what he is, and they plan to use him to be just that. And that is exactly what he is doing. Donald Trump became president of the United States. 3 million people wanted somebody else, but they ended up with this package of evil. Isn't that something? Then this package of evil could not separate himself from the evilness, even when he was being sworn in and coming into office, trying to make policy. Not that only, ladies and gentlemen, the American system checked this man and found that he was as evil can be evil. And yet the way the system is set up and the power was adjusted and adjudicated, this evil man was able to ride that tide and still remain president of the United States. And they all knew that he was evil. So why did they allow? Perhaps they are under the control of evil as well. I would say so. Either by the power that they might not be familiar with, or the power that they are familiar with, which is spelled M-O-N-E-Y. And this man is hooked up with evil, and all money is hooked up with evil. And so everybody who just believe in money, one way or another, hooked up to evil. You don't like that. I know many of you are so innocent to that statement, but nonetheless, it's true. You don't understand, but some others do. And especially those who put it out there to do exactly what it's doing. Now, the Senate says, this man, yes, he's evil, but we want him anyway. This is what we want America to have. This is what the United States Senate said to the people of the United States of America. Yes, Donald Trump is all of this, but we want him. And we are going to impose him on you because we are not going to get rid of him. That's what they said. And they kept him on. And you know what? Did his evilness stop? No. He got more bolder, with an intent on dividing this nation to the degree that we will actually be willing to kill each other just to prove to him that he can prove to the powers that be that he is performing for. He is performing for the powers that be, just like Bill Barr performed for him. They are all in this together. Ladies and gentlemen of America and the people of the world, evil is out to destroy the world, and you too, America. Now, God would not allow this to just slip upon you. Now, I've been out here for 30-some years telling you exactly this, and there are others that have been telling you this. The difference between what I have been saying to you, as I can see it, is that I have come with a solution. And other people that have come this way, many of them have come saying, just come to the church. Now, I don't know what you're going to get out of that. Because I went there, all the closeness I got to God came outside of the church in a spirit form. I'm not knocking it, but it is part of the problem as well. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in this nation knows that Donald Trump is as crooked as crooked as crooked. And right now, everything is trying to make sure that he can get back in office. Why? Why are they trying to make sure that this big sack of evil can get back into office again? All of the books that have been written about him, he has been able to make you feel satisfied that it's just a bunch of junk. People don't like him because he's so fantastic. Then on the other hand, he'll say everybody likes him because he's so fantastic. And expect both of those to be true. And expect you to believe both of them. And you do. Yes, my friend, this is a bold sack of evil. But something happened. A sibling, a family member, as it were, that's connected with him, who have met a lot of the standards that we hold up in high esteem as being creditable, somebody respectable. And not only that, they might have an axe to grind, but it is close as it can get. This one, you can't say who's leaking. The world knows who's leaking. And the leaker wants you to know who's leaking. And everything that America found out about Donald Trump as being true, his evilness, his crookedness, is affirmed and reaffirmed by this, his relative. This, his relative. And I wake up this morning in the Fox News, I hear someone making a statement saying that Kanye West want to be president. He says he's good. Trump is good. Clinton is good. But Biden is good. And those commentaries made on Fox were attacking Joe Biden. The fact that this woman has said we got a psychopath in the White House. This woman has said that this man would not, he refused to tell the truth. It's like the truth would hurt him. He just loved lying. It's a game to watch you flip and flap over his lies, and he hasn't got to do anything but just sit there and stick to it. And what are you talking about this morning? This man that was found guilty by the investigation and the people, I'm not talking about those senators that let him off, and he's still there today talking about defunding the police. One day somebody's going to wake up and need the police. It may take you 5 days to get him. Did he say anything about those problems that causes police to come to your house? Has he ever said anything about eradicating those problems, making sure that the people's needs, that the thieves don't have to steal anymore, that the crooks don't have to be crooked anymore, that those murderers don't have to try to think they can take? Did he say anything about those things? No, ladies and gentlemen, he's never said anything about that. All he wants to do is divide. And you, the American people, I sit out here this morning, having talked to you last night, early this morning, sitting on the side of the bed. And now here I am again talking to you. Can't you see? Don't you care about yourselves? As I sit here today, I believe that every American want to live joyously and happily. I believe that. I believe that every American, and really every human being, but just so it don't seem so broad, I'm going to say every American wants shelter. Yes, of course you do. The elements, the rain, the sleet, the snow, the heat, you name it. Every human being in America. I'm going to stop saying citizen. I'm going to start saying every human being in America. Now, every human being realizes that, hey, there's something special about education for some people. Not everybody wants to be educated in that system. Some people just come with natural order, natural knowledge. They don't need to be forced to go to school. They need the opportunity to just jam back what they do. But healthcare, no. Most people at one point or time get sick. They need some healthcare. And I'm sure that every last one of you who would ever need it, medication, whatever, you want it there. You don't want to have to struggle. You don't have to beg for it either. You want it to be there ready for you. Every last one of you. Now, Trump can promise you that, but he has proven over these past 3 and almost 4 years that he ain't coming close to that. He can't even read good, they say. The Democratic Party, they have been out here ever since they've been here, and they have never been able to come close to producing anything like that. And now, anytime, you'll admit it, anytime you have heard it, it was just a promise that wasn't kept. And yet, out of all of this, the Lord God Almighty, the power that you cannot see, put this whole story right before you. When George Floyd was chosen, yes, I'm using George Floyd again, he was selected by God to prove a point to the world that the powers that be, Donald Trump, Biden, Democrats, Republicans, Americans, and Russians, anybody, whoever you are, the powers that be, that if the human race choose these people and their plans and their policies, it's always going to be a power with its knee on the neck of the people. Some of you won't be feeling the pain, but many of you will be feeling the pain. And those of you who don't feel the pain will sit back and talk about how evil that is. You'll talk about in church, you talk about these pains. You'll talk about it in the legal system. You'll talk about it. You'll do all of this conversation. But you know what? According to what the message that God has given us today is, historically, everything that you have done has caused us to die this far. And if we don't wake up right now, we're going to die just like George Floyd. The opportunity has come that those things that every last one of you say you desire, how would God provide that for you? First of all of the resources are already in the earth, on the earth, above the earth. Some of it is seen, some is not seen. How do you get those resources? By you, the individual, working, my friends. But now you're not just working a job. See, before you were just trying to get a job, trying to get over. Now you have the opportunity to exercise your special gift that gives you the greatest joy. And that gift that you have is absolutely necessary in that process of bringing forward to the human race all of those goods and services that they need. And it is done joyously, and the receipts are overabundance. And you know, when you do what you do, you just got so much, you just glad, you just thrilled. Why? Everybody got careers. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? You know what I just explained to you? I explained to you something that you do not need money to do. You are doing this because it's your greatest joy. And exercising your joy, you play a part in bringing back all of these great, wonderful, heavenly things that all of you can just wallow in the playground. But no, not with the ideas of men who want to put their knee on your neck. They use money. They want to replace money with some bit, something they call it. Anything, just that make sure that there's something to distinguish between those who play the role and support those who want to be powerful against those who they want to abuse. This is in your hand. God has put this in your hands, America. And I have told you that, to me, I see this as Judgment Day. Judgment Day, when you have seen it with your own eyes. You have seen it with your own eyes. You have felt it with your own insides. Now God is not going to judge you. God is going to allow you to judge yourself. God is going to allow you to judge yourself. Are you with the evilness of this world and the evilness of men and men's traditional ways? Are you with the way of the Creator that gives life and love? That is your choice, ladies and gentlemen. So you won't say God sent you to hell. You say you chose hell, or you chose heaven. Won't say God sent you to heaven. You chose heaven. I'm sure God will be glad to receive you. Just like Trump is glad to receive every last one of those liars, every last one of those supporters that come to him and say, Yassa Massa. He thrills them. Yeah. It's on you. Judgment is in your hand. Your own judgment is in your hand. Goodbye.